Would you like to see inside my freezers? Freezer tour 2024. Here they are, our freezers. A couple of years ago, my husband came home with an elk. The way he brought it home was freezing it in Idaho, where he harvested it, and then drove to Arizona, where he plugged in the freezer again, and then drove to Texas, and it was all still frozen. Pretty smart. That's why we had this little one. Can't remember why we got this one. We probably just needed another freezer. This is our main freezer. It is a big one. I don't know how big it is. Here's what we have. I don't make our own bread because it gets really dense and it also doesn't keep as long. We always keep extra bread in the freezer. Here's some of that pumpkin butter and the banana bread that I saved. I use these with handles. I'll link them below. It's just a organization basket with a wire rim, and it is collapsible, but it's thick enough to withstand being stacked. Normally this freezer would only be meat, but we're running low on beef, so we have the room until we process another one this spring. This would be like game meat, various game meat. I think this is mule deer. This is whitetail that we harvested. This is from a cousin of Derek's. And that is ground deer. A lot of times if I need to use something up, I'll put it near the top so we remember to use that. Down here I also have, this is what I started with in one of the smaller freezers. It's one of these cube type boxes. It's collapsible and fabric, but it's fairly waterproof. And if I put something at the bottom, it can withstand being stacked on too. Not well, but anyway. I have large, this is a lamb. If you get a lamb processed, ours is usually somewhere around 30 pounds. So it's not a whole lot of meat. We have gone through some of it, and the rack of ribs is not in here either, but ours are wool sheep. They're not the traditional meat sheep that you'd get in Texas, the Dorper. Yeah, little tiny chops, but the lamb is pretty fatty, so it's real filling. Anyway, so lamb is at the bottom. I have one for pork. Also, anytime we have any flour or anything, we like to freeze it for a day or two to kill off any weevil eggs. Put them in here and then put them in an airtight container after they've kind of come to room temperature on the counter. And that'll keep the weevils away for a little bit longer. We have Idaho pasture pig pork. You can see it has a good amount of fat in there. Our pigs give us enough fat so we can do things like sausage. And here's some bacon down here. The reason we do sample packs for our Idaho pasture pigs that we have processed is because everybody wants the bacon, and there's not a ton of bacon. You can't just make a whole pig bacon. I have extra butter in here. If it's something goes on sale, my husband watches the sales at the grocery store, and we'll go get bulk of that. I have a whole thing of chicken and chicken parts. Anytime we grow out chickens, we have them whole or I quarter them out. And if it goes on sale at the grocery store, we get extra chicken breasts because that's what we go through fastest and we can't keep up with our own demand. So we get the grocery store to help with that. Usually I have another layer down here, but like I said, we're running out of beef. Definitely, if you're gonna get something, make sure it's not so tight that you can't grab the handles, because it makes it difficult to take it out. And I have big chunks of beef or deer or whatever in here. cut steaks, and yeah, this is mainly steaks, I think. I have more deer cuts here, backstrap and all that. They're really good parts. So we do have some ground in there. We're doing actually pretty good on that ground deer. We don't have as much as I thought. These are the baskets that came with the freezer, but we don't love them. So we use them a little bit, but not all the time. This is seafood. We don't eat a lot of seafood. Crappie from the lake around here. We have some duck fat. I do not like duck. Mahi.
May I just get the one mahi because I'm not that hungry?
Ground turkey in here. I don't raise our own turkeys because they're so expensive to raise. Here's our ground beef. We're getting low. This is longhorn beef. They're lean beef, but they are so good. I love longhorn beef. Up here, and we do have the ability to make our own sausages, but sometimes getting my husband to do it is kind of hard. Also, we had a ham recently. The leftovers I chopped up, and we can use these for a casserole or omelets. That's what we often use that for, so we just vacuum sealed that and put it in here. This is for sausages. And then over here where the condenser is, you kind of have a shelf. That's where I put ribs. So we actually have store-bought ribs there. And this is that rack of ribs from the lamb. And that is the big freezer. Last year my husband went to Newfoundland and he got a moose. This is full of moose. There's a lot of meat from a moose. Lots of big roasts. We'll have pot roast or slice it or smoke it or whatever. You can do anything with game meat that you can with beef. I have some of our hatch chilies. We tried to put roasts here. And then we have these with styrofoam bottoms, the condenser shelf over here. So we have these stacked up on the side. That's just a little bit of pork sausage. Anything that was just in saran wrap, we went ahead and vacuum sealed when we got it home. So, or when Derek got it home. This is just a pile of roasts over here. We can do anything with it. I'd like to make some brats actually from some of this meat. This is our smallest one. And this whole tub is usually filled with leftovers that we'll vacuum seal. Sometimes we don't want it at the time, so might as well save it for later. We can thaw this, heat it up in the bag if we want to, and then it's ready to go. It's our little TV dinner section. I actually have some chili from last year. Can't wait to have that when we get out of the 90s. Chicken legs, like chicken quarters, it's already been seasoned and smoked. This is pulled chicken from some whole chickens that I needed to use up, so I used it for broth, and I just pulled all the chicken off of it. Anyway, there's lots of other things in there. Down here I have, this is all the onions I did. I pulled them before they were ready, before they flopped over. So I went ahead and chopped them. It's just easy because they're already peeled and chopped, and I have it in my working freezer in the house. I got this recipe from my Aunt Lee. It's a drowning flauta soup base, and it makes a big batch, so I separate it like this. I put it in a muffin tin and then froze them like that, and then keep the discs in this bag. And then I grab a couple of them, heat them up on the stove, and put the taquitos with it. Down here, this is ground moose, so we went ahead and vacuum sealed it after that. Just keep the oxygen out of it. Like probably any homesteading family, we do have convenience meals. We like to have fries in our burritos that we make, San Diego burritos. And and that's why we keep those. Or if we make hamburgers or something like that, we just have fries on the side. With hash browns, and tater tots for tater tot casserole. My husband loves these pretzels. He'll have them as snacks with cream cheese. And then these sandwiches he likes to have when he's fishing. He can take them frozen and then they thaw while he's fishing. That's just what he prefers over making a sandwich. If you know anybody with an upright freezer, they've probably had somebody leave the door open. And it thaws out everything, you lose everything. We put a lot of money into our meat because we grow out most of it or harvest most of it because it's hard to leave this open. We always like to hear that slam. We come in here and check the lights and make sure they're still on after a power outage or anything like that. Hot goes up and cold goes down. So all your cold frozen temperature is going to be down in the chest freezer. So that's why we use this especially for meat. We also have a few more freezers at the farm. I have one for taxidermy and we have 2 more big ones like this for our pork products. If you'd like to buy a whole or half pig before it's even processed, you can do that, or you can buy sample packs from us. All the details are on our website at www.specialplaceranch.com. If you're interested in that, we don't ship. Thanks for joining me and seeing my freezers. Hopefully you got some good ideas for some organization in your own freezers. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I upload most Sundays and you can keep watching us grow our farm. Have a good one. I got my fancy hair going and it's still in the 90s. I love Texas, I just hate the weather. Anyway, real fulling. Fulling? It's real filling.